Another team that got a massive stop in a massive game, probably the biggest and best game to date for the NFL. Not probably, definitely the biggest and best game to date this particular NFL season was the Minnesota Vikings traveling up to Buffalo. Patrick Peterson putting the game away with an interception. I believe Josh Allen's like 0 for 4 in his last 4 overtime games. Not great for the Buffalo Bills. Everybody thinks about the Chiefs game. Obviously, that almost went to changing the overtime rules for the playoffs. But here in the end, 2nd and 10, minute 15 left, down 3. Josh Allen throws a pick to Patrick Peterson going into the game. We didn't know if Josh Allen was going to be playing or not. He looked healthy to me. He looked like he was able to throw the ball. He got hurt when he was trying to punch out a terrible interception from the other team. I guess he got re-hurt, but he went back on the field. The fumble at the goal line at the very end of the game is obviously nightmare fuel forever. But Josh Allen's going to think about that. Every time he gets under center, he's going to think about that going forward. And maybe he's more mentally tough than any human in the past, but if that happens and it's worst case scenario, and I heard Chris Sims on Football Night in America, former quarterback, go, the center knows he's about to get his knees chopped, so he probably snaps the ball a little differently and not able to get the quarterback center exchange or whatever. So Chris Sims kind of apparently said that the center maybe had a bad snap. It's always interesting to see whose fault it was, because who knows, but nonetheless, in a gotta-have-it situation, the Vikings get a touchdown on the defensive side of the ball after Kirk Cousins gets stopped on a goal line stand by the Buffalo Bills, in which the Buffalo Bills defense was supposed to put a picture of it on the fucking wall in the building, where they had two tries from a fucking inch line and did not make it in. Instead, Vikings get a touchdown on a bobbled exchange. Shout out to AQ Shipley and Drew Stanton. Then Josh Allen goes right down the field. Now Gabe Davis's catch, allegedly, Walt Anderson says, not an actual catch. We should have stopped it and reviewed it. Yeah, you should have. You're the only people that can do it in under 2 minutes. Why is that a thing? Bill Belichick's asking a question. We're all echoing the same sentiment. Can't have this happen, especially in the biggest game of the year. The Vikings and the Bills, 2 wagons playing each other. The Vikings are very new to being the team in the NFC North, but the entire country needs to recognize that they are the team in the NFC North and a problem. This can't happen. Obviously, Walt Anderson said this is an incompletion and they would have overturned it. And who knows what happens on 3rd down. Will the Bills get in? Who knows? We don't know nonetheless. But it's a big play. I love this Vikings team. The Bills, do we need to question what they got going on with Josh hurt, Poyer hurt, seemingly going through some stuff here? Or is this just a great football game in which they didn't get the win because of a late interception?
I would still think the Bills are going to be in it. As long as Josh Allen's arm doesn't get worse, which the fact that he played and did what he did was unbelievable. I guess we don't really know exactly what is going on with his elbow, but I feel like the game was over like 4 times, and I just couldn't believe it. It was one of those, like, I was lucky to be watching it in real time. Like, that's how I felt. Like, this is awesome. I'm so glad I'm actually here and on this game.
Dude, Vikings get stopped with like 40-some seconds left at the goal line stand there. It's like, damn. What a win for the Bills. Yeah, 48 seconds left. What a win for the Buffalo Bills. And then the Colts game starting at the same time.
Yeah.
So I flip over to the Colts game at that time. Other TV has Red Zone on it. All of a sudden, they're back there again with the Vikings thing. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. No way in the NFL. In college, you think on the half-inch line, okay, could be problematic. In the NFL, you don't think, because even if shotgun there, just.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I bet they regret not doing that.
Yeah, but
then if you shotgun there and there's a bobbled snap or something's wrong, like, what are you doing going shotgun in your own end zone?
I guess, but it's just in the NFL you don't expect that. In the NFL you don't expect that to be a problem at all with the game on the line. I appreciate the fact that the Vikings end up getting it because it leads to another drive by Josh Allen and then an overtime and then a blown call and excitement and everything like that. Thought the game was over. To your point, let's go to the Colts. Get Jeff Saturday's debut. Here we go. Hell of a game. Hey, Bills, congrats on it.
Yeah, what a win.
What a win. That was a good game. But still like the Vikings, I was saying. Still like the Vikings. I think Justin Jefferson had 170 yards at that point. Still like Justin Jefferson. Tough to win in Buffalo. Like, that's the whole tough to win in Buffalo. Yeah. What a stop by that defense. Von Miller, he's really a game changer for him. Like, these are all the thoughts I have going through my head as I'm changing channel. All right, Jeff, time to tell Kyle and Joe Thomas and Kyle Brandt to go fuck themselves. Let's do it. And then on the other TV, it's like, like I loud come out. I'm like, what happened? And then great game. Let's get that all. That was a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How's that game at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, ridiculous.
How's that game at 1 o'clock, Vikings Bills? I have no idea how that is. Nonetheless, thank you for that football game.
Thank you. Should have been Monday night, but thank you.
Well, I mean, Monday night they would have to schedule that way out, right? Flexing starts on Monday night, I think, next year.
Yeah.
So going into the year, the schedule makers would have had to know that the Vikings were going to be the Vikings, which I don't think anybody still isn't recognizing that the Vikings, not anybody, but
people are already writing them off. Don't you think when Kirk didn't get in, people were like, this is what we thought. Vikings, here we go. Now the old downslide.
Same old Kirk, throws that terrible pick. Oh, Kirk Cousins is back. Like, that's literally what people were saying. Then they get the win, and then Patrick Peterson's got 7 chains on 2 watches, and he is just –
cut.
35 years
No,
old,
done.
whatever the fuck he is. He looked unbelievable with that pick. The closer gets the chains or whatever. And I think the world just has to recognize that this is a new Vikings team. This is not the old Vikings team. This is a new Vikings team. And I think a lot of it revolves around Justin Jefferson is different. Everybody knows he's different. Defenses look to guard him different. 193 yards yesterday and a tud, including this 4th and 18 catch that is going to go down as a catch of the year. Even with Diggs' catch earlier in this game, Justin Jefferson taking that thing right out of Lewis's hands and then somehow keeping it off the ground there. Off the ground, into his stomach, 4th and 18, got to have it down 4. I mean, what a play, what a game. This dude's different, AJ. This dude is different, and it's awesome to watch.
Yeah, you think so? I mean, it's just the situation that you make this, the fact that you did this and you took it away one-handed, you keep it off the ground. It doesn't happen. It's not human what he's able to do. And he makes it look very, very easy, too, in the biggest moments when some people love that spotlight. They love, a got-to-have-it situation. Some don't. He seems to really enjoy it.
Go ahead, Connor.
And when you just look at the Vikings, it's such a similar team to last year. Kevin O'Connell has done an incredible job just kind of completely turning them around. And you would think, right, he's the runaway coach of the year. There are 4 or 5 guys that seem to still be in that whole entire conversation.
Sirianni.
McDaniel. And Miami, Salah.
Hey, they beat the fuck out of the Browns.
Yeah.
They beat the hell out of
They
the
were
Browns.
having fun, huh?
Great time. Tyreek Hill fainting and then
Sweet.
coming all the way back from the studio. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Vikings are legit, and I think more people just need to recognize it. Go ahead, Tom.
You asked about the Bills, and it kind of, if I looked it up because I felt like this yesterday, they kind of have a Rams feel from yesterday or last year. The Rams started 7-1. And then they lost 3 in a row in the middle of the season to go 7-4. The Bills started 6-1 this year. They've lost 2 in a row now. I think the Bills are going to be just fine here the rest of the season. Is what
I hope Josh Allen is. There was one time where the first down he did with his left hand. So I watched all the things where you don't have to put any added pressure on it. Is he choosing not to? Because then there was one time where he went like this with a double flex, and I'm like, if that thing was in real pain, that would have hurt like fuck. He wouldn't have done that. Now maybe maybe the adrenaline of the moment is getting him going, and maybe he's not feeling anything. But there was a couple things that happened yesterday where I was like, oh, maybe his elbow isn't as bad as we maybe thought it was, or maybe it is. He's just a tough son of a bitch, AJ.
What?
Yeah, I think it's number 2. This dude. I mean, I didn't think he was going to play all week, and then all of a sudden he not only does he play, he almost leads a victory in one of the greatest games I've seen in a long, long time. But look at this. That does not feel good there at the end of this play.
No, not at all.
He's doing it. How many times has this happened a game for him? All the time, I feel like.
He puts his face in it, too. He could have slid there. Now I'm going to put my face down in this. That's what I'm going to do.
5 times yesterday, those type of runs.
And it's if his elbow was really that bad, would he do that? Would he be a little bit more safe? We don't know because we haven't seen Josh Allen have to battle through this yet. But it feels like he's going to be playing. Because there was conversations we were having why would you play him? Just take a couple weeks off, let that thing rest up, and then you hear Von Miller. It's I was at Josh's house after the game. There was nothing different. What if we are? And I'm like, well, are we blowing this out of proportion or not? But it was a late time decision, I think. I think it was a very late decision, and it seems like he's going to be okay. Let's hope that wasn't all adrenaline, I guess, keeping him going.
Well, and that tweet came out that said, Buffalo basically extensively looked into it, and they got assurances from the doctor that, hey, he's not going to get any worse by playing. But also, that doesn't mean, if he's taking massive hits like that, that you're not impervious to getting injured that way. So it was kind of surprising to see that, he didn't play any differently. And maybe that's just the guy who he is. He's not going to play any differently no matter what, even if he is kind of hurt.
I think that is certainly something we should look at. The AFC East is very, very interesting right now.
Yeah.
I'm rather pumped to kind of watch it all unfold down the stretch. They're 6-3, the Bills.
Yep.
They're in third. 6-3, they're in third in the AFC East right now. It's banana land over there.
Yeah, like them having or falling from the number 1 seed in the NFL to all of a sudden the number 6 seed in the AFC. Like there's a chance, and it makes sense why they wanted him to play, especially if he wasn't going to hurt it anymore, because they just dropped drastically, and now all of a sudden they don't even have a home playoff game. Like they're still the favorites to win the Super Bowl.